Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your 2025 4Lifee Awards. Who took home the trophies? Who did you vote for? Let's find out. This show sucks, and if you don't think it sucks too, well then clearly you're silly. And that's me putting it politely.
You silly goose, you. I didn't vote. I didn't do nothing. Not no way, not no how. Not no way, not no how. Oh! Hey, why don't you come inside and let's talk this out? Let's have a conversation.
Would you like butter on that, sir?
Hello. Welcome again to the Wrasslin for Life Network, your favorite channel for live streams, your favorite channel for live reactions. We are about to look back at 2025. We're already steamrolling into 2026 with lots going on, but 2025 was a crazy year. Some didn't like it so much, but a lot happened, and we're going to see how you voted tonight. And again, we're looking forward to this one. If you don't know who we are, I am Mr. Every Night, KJ White. Happy to be back at it again. That is Big Nick.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrasslin for Life Network proudly brings you as tag stream champions of the world, the Every Night Delight, KJ White. I am Big Nick. And I dream broken dreams. But yes, we're out here tonight to talk about all the awards, who the fans voted, who the people, the viewers, all you people voted as to who should be the winners. We just pulled out, the nominees. But this is the fan vote out here. We're unbiased and we're undecided as to who even won these.
We don't even know. We don't even know if we agree with everybody. We're going to break it down here tonight. It's going to be a fun one. As always, get in that chat. Give us your 2 cents, and we are ready to celebrate and have a good time. We'll look back at the year that was and get into each and every one. I think it's simple, folks. Every wrestling show, every wrestling production needs a good story, Nick. Without story, how could you have good professional wrestling? And I think that's where we should start this one off. How do you feel?
There's been some overarching stories in most of 2025, my guy.
And some stories that never arched at all. That being said, folks, your nominees for 2025 Best Story are... And those are your nominees. And the winner is...
John Cena's final retirement tour, the last, You Can't See Me Now run. And I mean, it kind of feels like this was the John Cena award almost at this point. It was the story that ran the whole year, was the whole year. To some people, kind of linchpinned, kneecapped of WWE a bit, because John Cena's retirement tour was the story of 2025.
It was definitely the story of 2025. It took over the year, kind of, for better or for worse, Nick. It kind of, had such a big place. And at the end of the day, it all culminated with a really good Saturday Night Main Event that everyone was kind of happy with, as far as, the send-off. I know people didn't like the Gunther thing. Regardless, a legend has retired. One of the GOATs has retired, and we will debate his place in history forever. But that is the 2025 story of the year.
Hey, we're still talking about him. What was it? Like 3 weeks was the cutoff that he gave to where people would stop caring and people would stop talking about him. We're still talking about him. We're still caring out here. And there still might be even more WWE wrestlers that retire in 2026.
Yeah, we got more coming this way, apparently. And I mean, some of our favorite wrestlers for us who have grown up, not born in the 2000s, we're watching some of our favorites retire. Real quick, I guess we should acknowledge the Super Chat, Nick.
Spaz with a $10 Super Chat. What's up, fam? When the boys are done, come and hang out with me at 10 p.m. I got a long-form episode on the new faces, new champs, and new year of WWE. Hang out with the chat, and drop your 2 cents, lad.
There you go. Thank you, Spaz. All right, folks. 1 in the books. How you feeling about it? Remember, don't forget to comment after the show. Let us know. Let us know. How do we do? How'd the people do? And remember, the only people to be mad at is yourself.
Is you. You did this to you. And with that, we've even now had so many people or certain people win the awards so many times that now we've had to name certain awards after certain people and everything. So, well, I think up next we've got an award that's now at this point been named after someone who's won it so many times.
That's it. It's the Paul Heyman Award. Who wins? Who's your nominees? For the first ever Paul Heyman Award, the winner, the Golden KJ, goes to... Ooh.
I even pulled it ahead of the drum line there. But yes, Don Callis, the Palace, the Malice at the Palace of this category almost felt weaker, felt like we were searching for names once you pull Heyman out of the group of now who else is actually out there, a solid manager, and Don Callis has 57 people under his family, so I guess he just wins it on number of names. He got everyone to vote for him in his Callis family.
Yeah, the entire Callis family votes for Don Callis, and at the end of the day, I mean, Paul Heyman leaves a bit of a hole. We've done this award, the mid-lifeies, the full-lifeies, and, time in and time again, we've seen Paul Heyman win it. Now we have the Paul Heyman Award, and there's not a whole lot of good managers. Don Callis, congratulations, the 2025 Paul Heyman Award. I wonder how he'd feel about that, but not many other options.
No, you got a little bit of slim pickings, and again, now the Don Callis family is up in that almost NWO, WCW kind of level of how many people are really, we did it at the end of the Dirt Sheet debate. Right. Yes or no, are they in the Callis family or not? They're still on the AW roster. Are they in the Callis family? We don't know.
Yeah, they could be. But how we doing? Keep it going, folks. Keep it going. Don Callis is a good manager. He just spends too much time at Prince Nana is a good option, but too much time at commentary, if you ask me. That being said, sir, the awards go on. More to give out, more hardware. And the next one on the docket is going to be your 2025 breakout. I would say a very competitive breakout year, and we will see who broke through like the Kool-Aid man through a wall. Your nominees are... And the winner is
Stephanie McCoy is your breakout superstar of 2025. And this war award to me always gets really interesting as you get certain people that'll break out in the first half of the year or break out in the second half of the year, or they're kind of have a resurgence or a pinnacle in their career, but does it really count as a breakout when you've been there for a minute? So yeah, this is a break on through to the other side award.
Absolutely. I mean, Javon could have made effort or made a good issue. Stephanie had a bomb year. Like, she did everything. She killed it. Multiple titles. Was in NXT for a hot minute. Won 2 titles there. Gets moved up to the main roster. She's been unbeatable pretty much. The Devil's Kiss has taken over the world. A lot of people had good careers. I saw someone make a comment about Braun Breaker. Feel like he might have broken out previous to now. So the award goes to Miss Stephanie McCoy.
Well, is that, a true testament of where pro wrestling's at, to where this can be a highly contested category of Javon. You've got your Brauns, you've got your Breakers, you've got your Stephanies, your Julia might have rebroken out, your Tricks, your Lashes, your Carmelos, depending on how you want to exactly phrase this category. There's a lot of up and coming talent right now in pro wrestling. Even Kyle Fletcher's an example. He's one. Did he break out last year versus this year? That's the thing, is there's a lot of upstart young talent in pro wrestling right now.
100%. The future is bright. We see a lot of call-ups happening right now, and the shows are benefiting from it. The fans are benefiting from it. Lots of excitement, lots of new names. It's always a good time. So again, congratulations to Stephanie. Well deserved. As dude, we're up to the next award, and it's holy moment.
Certain fabrications and publications gauge that as to what makes a match great and everything. But I think 2025 was a year full of moments. Now, what was the holy moment?
Nominees are and the winner is
John Cena's heel turn, because why wouldn't it? How didn't it? How couldn't it? Of that still a moment, despite everything that happened afterwards. John Cena's heel turn was a seismic activity event in 2025. I know there were some events like Willow beats Mercedes for the TBS title. That was like literally you got it in on like the last day you could have gotten it in kind of vote. John Cena turning heel is something that will be talked about for the next 10 years, not just this year.
Yeah, I like the Heyman turn. I thought it was cool because it was a double turn and it led to Seth winning the belt and all the Vision stuff. But let's be real. As far as what it was, we can debate if it worked, didn't work. Did it go good? Was it worth it? At the end of the day, it was still a holy shit moment, and everybody buzzed about it. It blew up the internet. The IWC went crazy. It got clicked on. No matter how you feel about John Cena, his career or anything, that moment was holy shit.
People compared it to when Hogan turned heel and joined the NWO. You had the whole moment of I'm sure these things will get brought up in later awards, but you had your Dwayne with the throat slits and, the 1, 2, 3s. You had your Travis Scotts. It had the potential to be a seismic moment, but still just that alone, regardless of how everything went, John Cena turned heel for the first time in 20 years?
That's it. John Cena wanted to be hated, Nick. John Cena wanted the fans to be upset with him. He tried to elicit that heel anger, but he may not have accomplished that very well. Real swift, he turned back to babyface and went on his run. But in 2025, we had some guys and girls turn up the heat, become heat magnets, and really become hated. So the nominees are for most hated. Get caught up in the music. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner is
Gunther, the Ring General. Now, again, feels a little bit like he was an early entry and then a late entry because he had everything with Jey Uso and everybody forgets about that. Then he had, to go away because of injury, facial issue, nasal issue, what have you, but then chokes out John Cena, and now he is Thanos of pro wrestling.
That's it. I mean, again, all he has to do is walk up, grab a mic, and smile, and the fans hate him. He is hated. The John Cena thing, as much as people criticized it, I think it panned out. And ultimately, if the goal was to make Gunther the biggest heel in pro wrestling, mission accomplished. Gunther's hated. Other guys are hated, not on the same level. Gunther at the top of the chart right now, bumping Dom off the top of the hated pile.
Well, and this man can come out now and just say John Cena tapped out like a little, and everybody knows the rest of the line.
Yeah.
I think it's so funny to see so many people. And now, granted, Drew's a good shout because he just, had his moment with Cody. He's kind of always been the bad guy, but I think people have now gotten behind him. Triple H, Q Hunter, maybe. But
yeah, that might be a nice one.
But Gunther sat there and sent everybody home unhappy, like to where they're chasing this man in the streets on his bus, and he's just laughing. Just, yeah, this is what's supposed to happen.
Yeah. And everyone didn't get it. They were part of the shtick. But Gunther is certainly hated at this point in history. Again, good for him. Real heat on this man. So we'll see what happens in 2026 for Gunther moving forward.
Yeah, but things that are moving forward and expanding and expounding, and we talked about certain things that are already maybe too big, but factions are constantly a thing in pro wrestling in 2025, and we got to see which was the best one. Is it the Death Riders? Is it the Don Callis family? Is it the Vision? Can you see clearly now?
Is it the Wrasslin 4Life Network? Let's go. The winner is
the Judgment Day. Who we just had Liv return. Well, now Finn's out here, Mac Daddy in his way whole through it. Of he got Liv, he got Roxanne, and then he got Raquel all to himself. But the Judgment Day feels like this is the story that goes on and on. It goes on and on, my friends.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they had success. They've had multiple titles, tag team titles, women tag team titles, mid-card titles. Dom's been killing it, and they're still together. We keep thinking they're going to break up. Finn wants a big year in 2026. The Callis family hasn't done enough to even make the nominees. The Death Riders could have been better. Some people would argue they were great, but it didn't make enough sense or lead to enough impact. Judgment Day, in a world that we feel like there's a lot of factions, but maybe not a lot of good factions, the Judgment Day take the win.
When you think of factions in pro wrestling, is this the one that jumps to your forefront? Even though you've got the Callis family that's got 57 members, you've got the Death Riders that are they babyface? Are they heel now? And they spent most of the year as heel. I mean, the Wyatt Sticks have been in and out. The MFT, hey, what do you do? Of the face paint doesn't work for me. See, I think it kind of are factions going the way of the dinosaur?
Maybe. I mean, like, you feel like in AEW, they have factions, but they're loosely affiliated. You have things like the conglomeration that, you're in the faction, but then you're also in other factions and maybe in other groups. And, it gets a little convoluted. I mean, Triple H is a guy that loves factions, spent a lot of time in factions. So, yeah, maybe we'll see. But, I mean, not a lot of, like, high impact factions. The Wyatts haven't been high impact. MFT is trying to figure it out. I mean, the Bloodline was kind of the last one that was really making a dent in the show. The Vision is almost there.
You're together because I don't know what else to do with you.
Right. I think the Vision's got a lot of potential, especially now Logan's officially in. Theory, what he's going to do, and the two Brawns are forces. How's that work out with Seth? Expect a big year, even though Braun lost. Expect a big year.
Does the Vision end up running away with this award next year and everything?
Maybe.
You could even still, where's Austin Theory lay? There's still the sleeper agent of, does he still work for Seth somehow? There's a lot of room to grow with that.
Absolutely. Taking a peek at some of these. I know somebody asked if we could read them out, but the video doesn't have that, but you can hear the winners. And if you can watch it back later, you guys can you saw the polls, so you have an idea of who might be nominated. Finn Balor for world champion. We'll see. I think they're really going to push Finn. I like Finn a lot.
Yeah, we got to make you view it at least a little bit. Sometimes you got to tune in sometimes here. We can't do the full audiobook for you.
Right. But at the end of the day, Nick, we watch good wrestling. We watch a lot of good wrestling, but it doesn't always go the way we planned. And actually, this year might be a little different because most of the categories might not be like match specific, or most of the nominees might not be match specific. However, there were some things that didn't go right. We like to call them botches.
Some snafus.
Snafus, if you will. The nominees for the biggest botch in 2025. And the winner is
Afro Circus, Psycho Circus. Yes, Travis Scott, John Cena, and Dwayne. Well, I think more than anything of just Travis Scott's relationship with WWE. This whole storyline of boy howdy that they kneecap a whole 6 months of pro wrestling. No one was happy here. No one was happy with this.
No, I mean, this was a slam dunk. And again, we talk about botches. We know Javon fell on his face a couple times. We see many botches. Botchamania has made a career on AEW's mistakes. Right. But lots of slips and bumps. And again, I mean, it's hard to do what they do and always be perfect live. Trust me, it's not an easy task, especially when you're being athletic. But that being said, the Travis Scott thing, like you said, it handcuffed so much of the wrestling, and it was just a black eye, and some people never got over it. It kind of like John Cena's whole run sucked because that sucked. Travis Scott was a bad choice.
We saw a lot of botches that were nominated that they affected, that night or maybe like with Blake Monroe and Thea Hale, they affected 2 nights. Or
2 weeks.
This affected theoretically 2025 of pro wrestling to the point to where Monday Night Raw to start off 2026 had to move away from Travis Scott to, it's Godzilla now by Eminem is your Monday Night Raw theme song. This Botch encapsulated, took over a whole year.
It really did. It really did kneecap a lot, like you said. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, by the end, I thought we did a good job getting there, but it was a big botch. Someone mentioned the Brock Lesnar one, hilarious botch. It just, most of them were like, ending of matches.
Just terrified if Brock falls. Is he going to kill me?
Right. You saw the fellas. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. He'll come down here. That being said, let's take a quick word from our sponsors. Cha-ching. Let's go.
Yeah, don't worry, folks. Nikki Glaser and her Golden Globes don't have a candle to us out here when it comes to award shows or anything like that tonight. But yes, go and be a friend, tell a friend, grab your wrestling merch, the finest threads out there in the wrestling game.
Yeah, 100%. We sure, people. And a good wrestling shirt always makes me pop, Nick. And what better way to transition to the next category?
Do you pop? Do you really pop? But we've had some big pops and everything, some popcorn thrown in the air when it comes to pro wrestling in 2025, my guy.
Well, let's see what some of the biggest pops of 2025 were. And the winner is
Brock motherfucking Lesnar. The most controversial return. We've seen some other reaction channels and everything that lost their mind of how dare they, how could they? But Brock Lesnar, the beast incarnate, the alpha male of our species. I've still been on record of saying, when the aliens come down and they send out your best, this is who we send out. Brock Lesnar, still in 2025 in pro wrestling, in WWE, despite allegation BD.
Yeah, regardless of what anyone thinks, at the end of the day, this was the biggest. SummerSlam had all but come to an end, and there's that music, that infamous music, and we needed John Cena to be a babyface quick, and so we bring Brock in to make sure that happens. And, the place was unglued. A lot of big moments, a lot of Mania moments where people popped and got excited. Dom, at Mania gets a big pop. But at the end of the day, Brock Lesnar just was an absolute machine, an absolute ripple effect. And again, this falls into the category of love him or hate him. This was a huge pop.
It's always fun to see Brock Lesnar. Yeah, run from it, hide from it. I am inevitable. Brock Lesnar showing up. And now, granted, you can get into the whole, why'd he just smash John Cena? And John Cena never got a lick back. But Brock Lesnar showing up was such a shock, was such a moment. And everything was all but done and dusted. And you didn't think, we said it for the longest time, we thought they'd never pull the trigger. They'd have to go through legal hurdles to pull the trigger. Mm-hmm. Boy, how did they do it?
Yeah, apparently they did. And they, it didn't seem like he was here for a long time, but a short time. And again, the pop is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, it takes the cake. I happen to agree with this one. I might not agree with all the votes, but this one was huge.
Does Brock Lesnar retire in 2026?
He's got to be close, man. He's less than part-time. Like, he is occasionally.
Yeah, but so then, I mean, does Gunther retire John Cena, AJ Styles, and Brock Lesnar all within almost theoretically a calendar year?
Yeah, do it. Why not? Have him retire everybody. Bring back Mick Foley and have him retired again. Get him smacked around for a while. Like, literally everybody. Gunther's on a warpath. He becomes the new legend killer. Maybe he has to put down the old legend killer, but that might have to wait a hot minute.
Well, we know who could book that, though. If we've got all the bookers available and everything, of who might be the one to book that storyline of Gunther retires everybody. But we've got, the bookers of the year. It's been interesting in 2025, but here are your
controversial, folks. And winner is
Papa Paul. This is one that I feel we have to clarify. Y'all voted on this. We didn't vote on this. Y'all voted on this. Well, I would at least said Sean. Sean in NXT has been cooking, flambeing out there with NXT.
Yeah, I mean, NXT, I think I did vote, and my vote was for Shawn Michaels. I thought Shawn Michaels had the strongest, most consistent booking year amongst the group. People can talk about Tony having a great year in AEW and what they did. However, there was still some blatant consistency issues. There were some real long runs of dud shows or okay shows. And unlike some people, we're just not content with mediocrity. I do not think Triple H was the best this year. I think he played it safe in a lot of ways, as Nick, affectionately calls him.
Triple safe. We're all in a new era, and there were people questioning if this man was going to be, most hated out of 2025. We saw how he left John Cena's final match, and Q Hunter were chanting everything while he's out there talking in the post-media press conference of where they're chanting AEW more just to get at him than they really want AEW.
Yeah.
He's one of those that I don't get how he won this. Honeymoon phase has run off with Hunter, I feel.
Yeah, and I will say, I mean, we know the WWE has the largest fan base out there, whether people want to admit it or not, but it's fact. Yeah. And this is where a vote becomes interesting because I think if it had, if the fan vote, if the fan base was equivalent numbers, I don't know that Trips wins this one this year. He did win it this year, but I don't know. I'll straight out say I think the people got it wrong.
Well, is this, and shout out Geekbox. I'll let you read Geekbox first.
Oh, it's just should the fans should be the fans because I can't see it actually. If you can finish it.
Oh, because they broke everything apparently. Yeah, of course. When we got the overlays on the overlays and everything, we crossing streams. But yeah, to me, I guess this is one of those that, hey, this is a little bit like what we say with CM Punk when he was even talking about like Jey Uso. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to say this and that, but we put this to a van vote. We're even actively saying, hey, we watched this and we wouldn't agree with that. But if the fans are the ones saying it, then I guess they might be turning out in droves. Twitter might be only a minute, fraction of this.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's where people realize, like, technically, even by our standards, and again, I'll say this clearly to everybody out there, we when we put polls up, we get more votes than things like Cage Match. People want to cite Cage Match as a viable place to, 16 people thought this was the best pay-per-view ever. Again, I mean, we're getting good numbers on the votes, and even for the weekly shows that we put a poll up every night, we get good intake. And at the end of the day, one fan base is bigger. I don't agree with their opinion on this one. I don't like it, but we are men of the people, Nick.
Yeah, and that doofus son-in-law says,
But we are into the part of the show that like from now, like the rest of the categories pretty much Booker of the Year all the way through the back half of the show is all the fun stuff that people love to fight about, love to debate, love to kind of have their own 2 cents. And again, we will see how you, the people, have voted. But let's jump into a fun one, something that we're here more than anybody else out there. We don't make excuses. We don't fake injuries. We are here as much as humanly possible for every single weekly show. What was your favorite? Let's go. And the controversial winner is
Monday Night Raw.
This one's tough. SmackDown
Well,
even first.
has it gotten tougher because of what Monday Night Raw has been in 2026 already? What SmackDown's been in 2026 already? Like, did the holiday season really kind of hinder a lot of opinions and a lot of votes of a lot of late ballot for this? Yeah.
Some recency bias, perhaps. Raw was better than SmackDown. SmackDown didn't make the top 4. For those who don't know, you can only put 4 on YouTube to put a vote, so we got to narrow it down. SmackDown was number 5 by, the way we figured it all. Gave the option for people to give their 2 cents. Nobody, there wasn't like an overwhelming rush for SmackDown. Raw was good, strong, had a lot of big moments. Maybe not its best year, but it wasn't terrible. NXT was maybe the more consistent show.
NXT, but also it had those moments like it's on one hand, you had Monday Night Raw that was on Netflix. Like it's gonna reach the high of high and everything of it should be here. I think that helped it as far as access level. I think it really, dare I say, was more consistent or anything. NXT had its really good moments, but it also had, your Chase U's, your this and that. So you had your moments that you really fall off.
Ava Rain.
I didn't even bring her up, but does should Dynamite have slid into that number 2 slot?
Maybe number 2. The thing is, and I know people don't like this, I know Sports Illustrated felt otherwise. I mean, again, man, I've seen so many minutes of AEW programming. AEW Dynamite got a lot of 5s, a lot of 6s, a lot of 4s, a lot of mid ratings. And I mean, not just from me, but the collective. I think there was a lot of dud shows, a lot of stories that didn't connect. It's like the show with the most potential is AEW Dynamite. Because all they got to do is kind of rewire some shit and organize it, and it's better. But there were so many botches, so many bad shows, so many shows that were front-loaded and terrible on the back end. It takes itself out of the running. And I know people don't agree with that, but I'm happy to fight tooth and nail on that one. It just was not a great weekly show.
You have like $1 million car, you need to just fix up the engine a little bit and rewire some shit, and you're fucking spot on. It's like having a Lamborghini with a fucking, Motorola engine type of shit. It was just about to be there, but it couldn't quite be there. I think, to me, no wrestling show in 2025 feels super strong.
No.
But Monday Night Raw was the strongest of a week heard.
Yeah, I think overall it ends up sneaking it out. And again, this is going to be controversial, but again, I think there was just way too many weeks of 8-man tag matches, 8 women tag matches, multi-man matches, people working
title eliminators.
Yeah, just so much of the same shit. Raw, though safe and maybe lacking those holy shit moments, Still, you had the Raw debut on Netflix, huge show, big moments, all the Seth stuff, all the Vision stuff, the mystery of who Austin Theory is or was, behind the mask. Stephanie Vacour doing her thing. The women's tag team when it's there, it's been good. I think Raw steals it, but not by much. Not by much. And Tony's just going to get better.
Of big moments carry everything. Of you have a big moment here, and it lasts you the next 6 months. But speaking of big moments and big things that happen and everything, but your best matches that might have been big moments that lasted X amount of months and everything. But here are your best matches of 2025.
Let's go. And the winner is... Yes.
Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes in that ladder match. And there's no bias to it. It might be looking like a doppelganger out there on my screen of Kevin Owens out there. Might have swayed the polling or anything like that. But yes, their ladder match at Saturday Night's Main Event to where what put Kevin Owens essentially on the sidelines, perhaps permanently, was your match of the year for 2025.
That's on the vote. I personally think it was a great one. I know I picked Kenny and Gabe Kidd as my favorite, but it didn't quite get in there. I think this match might be overlooked a little bit because it was so early in the year and Kevin Owens has been out. But go back and watch that match. It plays so well. Hangman, of course, had a couple really good matches this year. I liked Kyle Fletcher and Ospreay, but ultimately the vote is what the vote is. Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes did tear it down. So we're still hoping and wishing and praying for KO to return.
Is there a difference between which company had the best match and which company has the best matches?
Well, again, I think in 2025, it's changed a little. In early 2026, we're seeing the trend continue that, it was foregone. AEW always has the best matches. I think AEW has really great matches and amazing ones, and their top ones, you can make a top 5 of their best matches of all of wrestling. However, there's a big drop off and you get a whole slew of really garbage matches, right? So Triple H might play it safe and we peak once in a while, with some kind of big ones and some of the story that play around it. But
does this also kind of put that whole conversation? I know we're kind of going through awards and I'm going a bit side here, but does it change the whole conversation of a lot of certain AEW fans and everything, or certain people that don't like WWE's pro wrestling, the match in ring tells the whole story. Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, a lot of that was told outside of the ring, which made the match in the ring matter so much. So is that really a testament to what determines how you truly tell a story in 2025?
The story matters. We started the show off with story because story matters. The matches are great, but the match without a story is just an exhibition of guys that can do stuff really well. At the end of the day, the story paid off and they delivered a good match. The other thing that happens sometimes with Triple H or with WWE is big storytelling, shitty match. So, it's got to complement itself. I mean, there were some big ones. The ladies this year, absolutely having stunning ones. That match there, the Kyle Fletcher, Will Ospreay one was outstanding, maybe because it was early in the year, but again, the vote is the vote.
Y'all voted on this. Don't be mad at us because we're the messengers. We're William Regal out here. We're just telling y'all what y'all decided on.
Yeah, man. And what we can hope for is better luck next year, like the next group of nominees. Again, yeah, it is what it is. The matches matter, but we have a collection of people that we feel like maybe 2026 will be nicer to them than 2025 was. Here are the nominees for better luck next year. And the winner is
LA Knight. Yeah. I mean, this guy's already been rumored to be flying out to Germany to show up on a SmackDown. They've been out there. Allegedly, the internet's been pitching that this man's going to show up as your next Stone Cold Steve Austin. It constantly begs the question with LA: has it jumped the shark? And we're keep trying to make fetch happen, or is he really should be the next guy up?
I mean, LA's good, and LA, there's a fan base that kind of wants we want LA to do well and have success. We've been waiting for it. We've been waiting for it. But at the end of the day, it never has arrived. Now you have a really good heel in Drew, but if LA shows up in Germany to challenge Drew, LA's taking an L at some point. So I don't think Drew's dropping into LA next week or next month. So yeah, I know.
Well, does LA show up as your anti-authority? But again, there were a few contenders, a few qualifiers for, better luck next time, pal. But is there anyone that personifies that more than LA?
No. I mean, again, the other nominees had good years in varying degrees. But we still like Eddie Kingston's return was a dud. I think LA gets.
I'm not even mad that Kingston was nominated. I didn't even say shit about him out here. That's how over LA Knight is right now.
Right. So, I mean, again, I think that, his return was a little lackluster. Jordan Grace, we know that the future is brighter for Jordan. We're less concerned for Jordan, even though she didn't get the best of bookings perhaps in NXT, but maybe that's why they were like, we're not going to commit. We're just, we're going to get rid of you very soon. So hold tight. Right. Yeah, ultimately LA feels like the guy that it's, 2026 or bust for LA.
Pause on that. But if 2026 doesn't happen for LA, do we just let him go? Yeah. You got to let that, peacock fly.
There's a company out there right now that has a TV deal that could use an LA Knight.
But will they still have a TV deal come the end of 2026?
That's a good question. It's a good question. We hope so.
Right. Well, this is why we're the perfect tag team out there. Because again, there's a lot of other people that try and imitate and perpetrate and perpetuate. I don't even know if that's a word at that point. But try and imitate being tag teams out there. But tag team wrestling has gotten few and far between in 2025.
It's been rough.
Look at who was the best tag team wrestlers in 2025.
Let's go. And the Golden KJ goes to...
Oh, there you go. Now I pulled it up. We're not friends. Yes. Is the chat trying to tell us something with this? Because I thought for the longest time that it was going to end up being Zarya and Soruka of that whole combination. But yeah, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, we're not friends out here stealing. And again, I know that you like to bring it up because it triggers me of how much the women's tag team division in WWE, for everybody that likes to say women's wrestling, how much that's become a forefront and brought to the figurehead with it.
Yeah, I mean, the women's tag team division has been solid, been strong, been good. A lot of main event talent, former world champions too here. Charlotte was getting booed out of the building. Nobody even wanted to see her. She became friends with Alexa. It kind of saved her. Actually made her a viable baby face, which is weird as hell. They've been good. They've won. They've lost. I do think that Bandito might have been, or Brodito might have been a bit of an oversight, but I don't know if their run was long enough. Alexa,
Oh, come on, Charlexa's got to
Alexa
get
had a
there.
good run. They had the belts for a good amount of time. And again, I can understand why the votes would go to them. It does show a weakness. It does show us a very open weakness. I know, I think it was SI that picked FTR, but I mean, FTR got off to a real slow start in 2025 and, haven't been overly challenged. Yeah, they've had a couple moments, but they're not the FTR we once remember. Yeah, I mean, so Ruka Zarya is great, but they didn't really accomplish a ton. These two might be the front runners. They might actually be the worthy winners.
Won't even that of Shadow Geezy and all that, and even Spaz with if he retires, Cena, Ray, and AJ, but okay, no, you're good. I think across the board, and this still warms the cockles of my heart. Pause. Of as much as I've wanted a Jakara Jackson, if I still wanted the tag team division that we had before, now that the women's tag team division is undeniably at this point the best tag team wrestling in pro wrestling, I think that's a huge fucking flag bearing moment. That's a huge fucking mountain to climb right there. Of right now, most of the best tag teams we're talking about in pro wrestling right now are women's tag teams.
100%, and that's one of the most competitive divisions in wrestling. We talk about the U.S. title division. The world titles are what they are, but the competitive nature of the tag team division for the women has been outstanding. And again, a lot of big names in that tag team division right now. So, congratulations to Lexa, two women that have once in the past been nominated for Best Female of the Year. As we get down to the final few categories, the final few awards to give out. But the ladies have been killing it in all facets, all across the board. So let's check out your nominees for the 2025 Top Females. And the golden KJ goes to
Io Sky. Well, and could you argue that almost even compared to the men's, that at this point, this is the most hotly contested, the most debatable, contested, could go either way kind of award there is?
Yeah, in a lot of ways, highly competitive, lots of big names. I know some people are going to disagree with this particular choice because it is competitive, and everybody has their favorites. But ultimately, I thought Io killed it this year. You got to figure her WrestleMania moment, now being part one half of Riho. She's had an outstanding year.
Women's world champion and also women's world tag champion within the same year, going to kick off 2026's Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
It's still, you're out there with even heavy hitters. Like, is she still the top woman, even in the tag team that she's in right now with Rhea Ripley?
In a way, people pop big for Rhea, and Rhea's great, but I think people love Io. And maybe that's my own bias, but I think she's so over. I think if Rhea and Io started beefing, I think more people would side with Io unless she was strictly being an absolute heel. I think a lot of people would kind of be there.
Should Monet have won because she won 27 titles within 12 months? I know she's going to take a pause for the cause. Mm-hmm. She said that on Collision.
Oh, good.
When I come back, I'm winning more than titles, as she's giving back all her titles. But
she's not giving them back. At the end of the day, here's my thing about Mercedes. She worked a lot. You give her a lot of credit. I didn't think she had great matches. I don't think she's a great promo, but ultimately Do you give the best pitcher in the minor leagues the Cy Young Award? You don't. And a lot of the shit that Mercedes did was in the minor leagues, was in the Bush leagues, was in the mud shows, was, you know, things and titles we've never heard of and still haven't heard of them. They were all just car fucking ornaments or hood ornaments for Mercedes Moné to show off. And at the end of the day, they meant very little. And the more she won, the less it meant. I know some people, like, you know, simpletons at, you know, maybe Sports Illustrated might get stuck up on that. But at the end of the day, again, she did a lot of work in the minor leagues, which is great. La-di-da. But it didn't equate to anything. It never really equated to much.
Well, things that equated to much of that was spit hot fire, Dylon, and Dylon. She's out there, Bartolo Colon. She's out there, you know, serving up a contract from the Mets. But Bradley out there gifting 5 memberships, and I think he even gifted a number 5 on top of that. So this man's giving out 10 memberships, all because of my Buffalo Bills, who would never sign someone like Mercedes Moné. But yeah.
Well, the Buffalo Bills are being led by one strong man, one guy carrying the whole team on their back.
Took down the Tony Khan, the Khan family led, you know, AW support system. I don't even know where I was going with any of that. But yes, we one giant man, Josh Allen. Pause. I'm going all cryptic out here. Best male superstar 2025. I've lost the plot.
Here are your nominees for Best Male in Wrestling 2025. And the winner is...
Look in my eyes, what do you see? They did my boy dirty. Why didn't Dirty Dom win this? Even Sports Illustrated, I'm not just saying it, Sports Illustrated even says it. ESPN says it. He should have been your male superstar of the year. But CM Punk, Philip Seymour Brooks out here, your male superstar of 2025.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be real. I thought he was my pick for male wrestler of the year. And I think ultimately he had a phenomenal year, a good run. He finally got his WrestleMania moment. He got that, you know, the emotional, I did it. So we got that kind of Rudy moment with him, and then he carried on. It might not have been in the plans for him to be the champion when he won it, but Seth gets hurt. Punk fills in. Punk's been killer on the mic. Punk's been fun to watch. This is arguably like the most comfortable, strongest run we've seen for Punk in a long time, if not ever, where he's not at odds with anyone backstage that we know of. Life is fucking good for Punk.
Well, should have been John Cena because, you know, he pretty much all of 2025 was about John Cena. So does he not kind of fit the mold?
Yeah, I think the botchy kind of run and, you know, maybe only having 4 or 5 matches kind of hindered him a little bit. Adam Page had a great year. His redemption arc was outstanding. I thought Adam Page was the best wrestler in AEW in 2024. I don't know if he was in 2025, but he's pretty fucking close. But ultimately, I think as far as impact, again, kind of going back to what we said with Mercedes, is everything Punk does is on such a grand stage. Like he's, you know, in the big leagues, in front of all the big cameras. Yeah, it's his trophy this year, I think.
He's in the big leagues now. He finally won. He finally reached the pinnacle. He main evented WrestleMania in 2025, and he won a gold cage here in 2025.
Right.
Same level of prestige out there.
Right, Damien. A couple people calling for Moxley. The votes were out there. You could have put a Moxley vote in the bubble.
Again, y'all voted.
And Moxley, yeah. I mean, again, I think the problem with Moxley for me is, yeah, sure, he was booked a lot. Yeah, sure, he was in a lot of stuff. Yeah, sure, he barely missed a week. But a lot of it for me was unentertaining and boring and not good.
To
Sorry.
me, this year for Moxley is kind of a recency bias. It's a little like you could make a case for Will Ospreay in 2025, Swerve Strickland in 2025, but you also lose a good like 4 months out of that whole discussion. That's the thing. I think when it comes to a John Moxley, you're missing a large chunk of that and going to like the last like 2 months, month at that.
Right, our buddies, OPA 3-way saying, honorable mention. Benito had a great year. Mystico had a great year that not maybe a lot of people saw. MJF was in and out too much. Again, Mox was. I think people are mistaken. Booked a lot and doing a lot to like the equivalent of doing extremely well. Mercedes won a lot of belts. Moxley won a lot of matches, but to me, it wasn't very entertaining. It wasn't very exciting. So I got no problem with CM Punk winning this one.
Well, speaking of booked a lot versus not booked a lot and what's entertaining and what's not entertaining and everything, that's been the big discussion when it comes to 2025 and the pay-per-view model, if it even still exists, of if it's booked a lot, if it's not booked a lot, but we got to decide what's the best pay-per-view of 2025. Where did you spend your money the best?
This is a tough one. This is a tough one. Nominees are... And the Golden KJ goes to...
Evolution is a mystery. How did this come to be? Because I'm gonna be honest, this would have not been my pick. I'm very surprised even that. Did anyone else notice not a Big Four was mentioned as even a nominee? Not a WrestleMania, not a SummerSlam, none of that made a top 4. But Evolution, I think, was really great because of one moment and really what did Anthony just spam vote?
Right. I mean, a lot of people said it. A lot of people voted. I mean, I was surprised, really surprised at how far out Evolution went. Like even our buddy Paul, Evolution. I think from start to finish, there wasn't a weak spot in this show. I think it was solid from front. It wasn't my favorite pay-per-view of the year. No. I actually think I forgot about it when we did like the year end, like when we were doing the look back at 2025. This one slipped my mind, and then you brought it up. The Big Four that you brought up, Rumble was good. Mania had its issues. SummerSlam, probably the best of the 4 of them. And Survivor Series ate shit and just pooped the sheets all around. So what do we do?
Well, SummerSlam already won because of brief bit because Brock returned here. But yeah, Evolution, and again, don't mean to fully poo-poo on this show because, again, it still had the Naomi turn. It still had a fantastic match with Io and Rhea Ripley in the main event for the world title. And then you had the cash-in involved into it. It was a really good show, and a lot of people, again, I made the joke of Anthony was clamoring for it. To me, it almost has to be an AEW show that was actually the best pay-per-view of the year. Whether it be Revolution, whether it be All in Texas, AEW actually had your better pay-per-views this year.
I think it's another example of their peaks are super high, but their lows are super low. So like AEW Revolution was probably my favorite pay-per-view of the year, one of them anyway. But they, the Moxley Copeland stuff really sucked. So it was a really good pay-per-view with a really bad situation at the end. All In was good. All In was really strong. I liked it a lot. WrestleMania Night 1 was good. Night 2 was a farce. You look at the 2 triple threats on Night 1 that killed, but for the first time in any of these award shows that we've done, No WrestleMania in the nominations in the mix. We thought, let's keep it fair. Let's mix it up. Screw WrestleMania.
Well, there was even the right end portion, and no one even decided they needed the right end.
That's why we have that, like, hey, let us know what you think option, and nobody wanted to do that. So, Evolution, I think, for the nostalgia, like maybe not the nostalgia, but like the whole the excitement, the nuance of it, and I think like the whole show was really well done. And then, of course, the big Naomi moment, and that match before the cash-in was outstanding.
Oh, absolutely. That match alone was, you could consider in your top 10 of matches of the year for 2025. But yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta see. I think we're down to the nittiest and grittiest of, I don't know who's reading this one or who's pitching in this.
This one, again, it's going to be controversial. I think a lot of people know where it's going to go based on the channel following. But this is the big one, the big kit and caboodle. What is your favorite promotion? People had to vote. And these are the nominees for the 2025 Promotion of the Year. And the nominee, you're the winner of the nominees.
WWE. But wait, Uncle KJ, if I go on Twitter tells me I'm very wrong in how this plays out and everything. But Brandon, we did a poll of the audience of anybody and everybody could have clicked on this and chose who they view with this and still picked WWE.
Yeah, I think ultimately Slammiversary was a good one, by the way. I think, again, bigger fan base, bigger, a lot of people to pull from. I mean, it's the downfall. We'll see if TNA, growing this year. Will they have more fans out there able to kind of get into things? And again, AEW has a smaller fan base, about the same size fan base of about TNA at this point. But ultimately, I think the WWE slipped this year. And some people, I think, equated bad year for WWE means we default win. No, that's not how this goes. I don't think AEW did enough to bypass them. They still have strong production, strong shows. They're still killing it. They're selling out. People are super into a lot of what they're doing, even if the internet says otherwise. Maybe 2026 is the year they get knocked off the perch, Nick, but it wasn't 2025.
No, well, this is definitely where they're on their DMX. I'm slipping, I'm falling, I can't get up. They have very much fallen back into the pack with this a little bit. Now, granted, this is still, Ronaldo. This is Austin Matthews playing pickup. The Michael Jordan, LeBron James, playing rec league. They can pick it up pretty quick, but do they continue to slide and slide? Do they price fans out? Do they really? Now you got to have a whole fucking Christmas tree list of everything of who's streaming on where and everything with WWE.
Yeah.
There's a class action lawsuit now against WWE and ESPN because of fucking false pretenses and false practices.
So insane. We'll see how that goes. I don't think it's got a lot of legs. I could see AEW, again, just trying to be unbiased and step back. And there's guys that watch all the wrestling. I think AEW has a real opportunity. It will come down to their management, their booking, And if they can shore up and clean up some of the issues, if they can make the stories make more sense, stop just throwing your booking into a Vegematic and seeing what comes out the other side. I think they're right there. TNA is going to put a big push on everybody this year. They're going to want a good TV program. They're already announcing AJ Styles for the debut episode. We're talking about world titles at the debut episode. They are going big on AMC, sir. And I think that, some of the peripheral guys have fallen off. New Japan, CMLL, AAA had a really good year. They might have been in there instead of New Japan. But the WWE, Triple Safe, and crew need to pull up their britches and get back down to business.
Well, and I start to think it might be AW could get left without a leg to stand on of TNA. They're going to get front loaded by WWE to load up that show. You just mentioned it with AJ Styles showing up. New Japan's kind of started to put their foot down. Oh, did you realize it was Yoda Tsuji not in character? No, we don't want to lose the AW talent anymore, and we're not trying to lose our talent over here and over there and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you might start to see a lot of these partners with AW close the doors towards AW, and that's when it gets interesting. On top of where does streaming end up? It's the biggest thing when it comes to pro wrestling that I've learned out of 2025. You got to know media rights deals. You got to be knowing Hollywood insiders. You got to pay attention to business marketing, all of that. Who's going there and who's going there.
Yeah, we just want to watch the wrestling. You guys making us do all this extra homework. No, but I mean, ultimately, 2025, a crazy year, highly debated. Again, seeing other publications, and I know we make pot shots at a couple of them, but, their fan base or the people that are writing for them feel one way. I mean, we see what the people that kind of hang around our channel feel. And we will see how 2026 plays out. The good news is there's a lot of reasons to be excited, a lot of names returning from injury, a lot of names that could be signed or changing teams. But as always, we're here more than anybody else out there. We recommend that everybody saves their friends from bad streamers, bad reactions, and bad vibes. Come join the non-IWC, the WFU, the Wrasslin 4Life Network. As we'll continue to do it the way we do it. You might not agree with everything that happens, but a lot of times it's you that picked it. So we will see what 2026 looks like, Nick. Crazy year in 2025.
Absolutely. You don't even need to wear a black hoodie or anything like that to make a surprise running in 2026. But yes, we'll see who ends up with the golden KJs as we're still even getting closer now to the midlifeies. See, again, we're doing the midlifeies and the 4Lifeies. But yeah, 2025, I think, was a big punch in the mouth for pro wrestling. And now we're going to see how pro wrestling responds in 2026.
It shows the fan base will be vocal. Again, as long as people keep buying tickets to fill the building, it's good news for all of us. Challenge these wrestling companies. Don't be afraid to say, I love this company, but tonight they didn't do so well. Not everything can be perfect. Not everything can be great every single night. And have a little bit of patience. Things will go out. Enjoy the wrestling. Speaking of enjoying wrestling, tomorrow we are here at 1:45 p.m. Eastern in the afternoon for WWE Raw. It is global at 1:45 tomorrow. Expect surprises, twists, turns, and a whole lot of other stuff. Nick, 2025 in the books, man. I know we're about 11 days into 2026, but off to a good start so far.
Yeah, we done gone global, as you can see behind us and everything. But yeah, pro wrestling is pro wrestling. Of often imitated, never replicated, never duplicated. We do what we do because other people can't do what we do. We keep it positive over here. Our shit is real. Our shit is raw. Our shit is authentic. When you're talking about that rest, you better put that full life with it.
Thank you for everything, folks. We appreciate and love you. See you on the flip side. Good night.